Well then, I gotta admit, this episode was pretty wilding. Only because there is a lot that kind of happens. With the action being really good above season 1 action. Because, let's be real, all of this, and plus some of the visual looks, is just amazing. Like, damn, White Fox, you guys really outdid yourselves. But okay then, moving on. So we have obviously Garfield and Mimi. They encounter two very dangerous people. And keep this in mind, these two are pretty fucking strong. Like they're strong in their own right. So together they're definitely a powerhouse team. But Mimi kind of tells Garfield like, "Hey, these guys are dangerous. So we should probably cut and run." And even Garfield makes a point like they're not going to let us easily run away. So a lot of stuff does happen, but I'm just going to continue on from what happened with Garfield before moving on to anything else. So Garfield and Mimi are somewhat holding their own. They're legit doing pretty well. Garfield has the upper hand only for the other. Like there's these two powerhouse witch cultists. The big one distracts Garfield, and unfortunately Elsa continues to harass Garfield, which causes him to kind of panic. And even though he, with his like tiger fist, is not necessarily strong enough to take care of the blue opponent, because dude has blue arms. And this one with the sword, it nearly kills him if Mimi hadn't jumped in and was able to block away the attack. So this is the moment they cut and run, but unfortunately Mimi, even though she tries to block the attack again, it seems this witch cultist understood how much force they needed to add into their attack, and yeah, unfortunately Mimi got injured. And yeah, Garfield takes an injured Mimi, like, back to Subaru and the others. Meanwhile, Felt is being held hostage by Heinkel, the fucking asshole. Only because Heinkel does not want to deal with the witch cultist, and he knows that if his son, Reinhard von Estrella, is right by him, like, no danger will realistically come to him. So he's using Felt as a hostage. Obviously, Reinhard's conflicted because, you know, he has genuine family issues and he is loyal to Felt. So those two are causing him to conflict. And then we have more talk on the whole city, the trap, the witch's remains, and a bunch of interesting stuff that kind of more lore stuff about the city, the Watergate city, and how that one kind of took down a witch. And interestingly enough, we get like more lore about the royal family and about one of the members called Emerada Lugunica, which is what Capella is calling herself, so maybe some connection there. But what is more important of all of this is literally the talk on the whole Watergate city. I love more lore behind this, but also we get a little call from Julius where it seems like the brothers of Mimi are kind of realizing that something had happened to her, because their divine protection connects the three of them, so if one of them gets injured, the other two would also receive the damage. It's more like trying to balance it out, so that way if one receives like a fatal wound, it doesn't just instantly kill them, from what I'm aware of. I could be wrong, but I just love it. While Capella's doing her fucking speech, we have Garfield finally arriving. And yeah, he's holding Mimi, and he is like guilt-ridden because he couldn't do anything about it. And unfortunately, this is one of the wounds that doesn't heal, and this catches Wilhelm's attention. Keep this in mind because this is extremely important for Wilhelm. Now, we have Capella once again doing another speech kind of thing. I'm not exactly sure what she does, but she definitely does something that is irritating at worst. Or at best, one of the two. And also, I would also like to point out that they're saying that they won the witch's remains, but they cut off the Tome of Wisdom, but I'm not going to get too into it. And just randomly, Kiritaka comes in, and Super first questions if Otto's with him, because Otto went to speak with him before all this shit hit down. And no, he's not. Obviously, he wasn't. But having him here is important because it gives a little more lore, and we get to see the body of Typhon, the Witch of Pride. Typhon, who had drowned because of the trap. And yeah, we have the reunion of the siblings. Ricardo thanking Garfield about like keeping Mimi safe. Garfield being guilt-ridden, and Subaru kind of having to snap him a little bit out of that. And yeah, they all go to, like, we have a group. We have Garfield back in his fighting spirit. Wilhelm, Krush, Al, Subaru, Ricardo, and Julius all going to essentially put up a fight against the witch cult because they need to stop Capella first. And I love it. I love the talk between all of them. Krush has been trained by Wilhelm, and Wilhelm assuring that Krush is still natural talents. Al basically saying that, hey guys, sorry, but I'm dipping. I got my own princess to deal with, and then kind of just leaves, which is funny. But then we have Subaru and Julius talking, and I like this. Like, Subaru's a bit off by Julius's kindness, but it's still pretty good. And then we have, obviously, all of them facing off against the two witch cultists that Garfield and Mimi struggled. And yeah, this is probably the best team you're gonna get. And Subaru participates. I'm happy Subaru can use his whip and was able to... They were nearly able to take out one of these guys. So we know for sure that if it was just 1v... What is it? 6 or 1... If it was just one of them that they were dealing with, I can guarantee you they would be able to beat them. But because it's two, it's more evened up. And then we have Capella herself, the fucking bitch. And she's in the dragon form. Obviously speaking in a mocking tone. And Subaru is not happy about that. And first Capella mocks Garfield, like essentially egging him on to attack her. And Subaru, like a badass, is like, nope, hold on, I got this. And then just starts kind of trash talking Capella. Like, I find this funny because even Capella's confused at the shit that he's saying. And it's all because he's buying time. This is the second time I recall him doing this. The first time was literally to Elsa that he's done this. And this is another time he's done this, only with Capella. And it's to buy Julius time to essentially use Al Clauseria, which, I mean, it did do damage. It's just unfortunate they weren't... First of all, gotta love that they're not censoring this shit, because we get to see it at its true visuals. But they weren't accounting for Capella being able to regenerate. So she kind of starts retreating because a signal kind of sends her to go and retreat. And clearly, they have to still deal with the two witch cultists. So we have Ricardo, Garfield, and Wilhelm staying back. So we know that Wilhelm's going to fight the sword one, and that the other one, the big one with blue arms, he's going to be fought by Ricardo and Garfield. So as we basically have Subaru, Krush, and Julius kind of go up into the top floor, Subaru's in pain because he's still injured. We have an introduction from a certain fellow that called himself Gluttony. Like, he was already speaking Gluttony, and Subaru immediately wanted to kill his ass. And, like, he was having the REM flashbacks because he still absolutely hates Gluttony. And yeah, Roy Alphard has come to the scene. And unfortunately for Subaru, this isn't the jackass that stole Rem's memories and name. He doesn't know that, we know that, but I mean, another Sin Archbishop of the Witches cult has appeared. Another Gluttony, which is already problematic because Lai Batan Kaitos is essentially going after Otto because, you know, Otto is unfortunately unlucky to have to deal with him alone. And now we have Roy Alphard. Now, if you think that's the worst case scenario, we have the episode post-credits kind of scene come up with Emilia, for some reason being naked, because, you know, Regulus is a sick fuck, have her kind of in a room, isolated from everyone, and then Regulus comes in, and literally his first thing to ask her is if she's a virgin. Like, yeah, I can't wait to see Regulus get his shit kicked in. But, my gosh, this episode has lore, action, emotional moments, and this, I guess, fun interaction. But overall, I'm still happy with ReZero. 10 out of 10 bangers. There's, like, ReZero, we're back. Like I said, we're back. And I can't wait, because we're in the Witches Cult's advantage. I can't wait for the next core, which is counterattack.